Okay, so what's going on, people? Let's see if this doesn't work a little better than it did on Sunday. For anybody that happens to see this, try doing the whole live thing on Sunday during Survivor Series. It did not go well initially, but that was largely just because the stream was just super distorted. It was terrible quality, like some kind of dial-up thing going on. This time around, things seem to be a little bit better, which is cool. So I'll be sitting here, got some boxes to open up so I can figure out my next wave of reviews to record and all that stuff. That's kind of how I do things around here. But as far as Dynamite goes, so I was there last night and I did not get to see much out of the whole CM Punk and MJF thing because there was not much to see. It was a good moment. They did it well, but I'm curious to see how this now right here is going to go. So should be a little bit better. But we'll see what happens. Is that frozen? Okay, no. But yeah. So hopefully everybody out there is doing all right. Things are going okay over here. So what is everybody up to? Is everybody else watching this or not? Or are you just here to see me open some figures and some shoes at some point? It's kind of just a matter of getting down to everything, you know? So, first up, I don't keep these boxes, but like I guess I'm just so used to opening things neatly that that's just kind of how I am. And it makes it easier to kind of throw these things away later. But we'll see. Once the things start getting out there, probably get some more people in here. But for now, I also just need to get through these so that I can get the shelf set up that I just bought. So this is the AEW, what is this? Unmatched, right? Unmatched Wave 1. I've had these for a while. If you saw the partial review I did, you know what I'm talking about. But now I actually get to open these things up, see what they're all about and all that good stuff. Which is good because otherwise buying it just kind of made no sense. So, Kenny Omega. It's a pretty cool looking figure. I like the way they did the tights on here. For a second, it looks like my hands are crazy ashy, but I think that's just the way it looks. So, and then from there, got Darby Allen. Now, I also have the chase of this particular figure, but that's over there and I'm not going to get it. But if you don't believe me, watch the last action figure video that I did or check the gram out. Because I did post a little picture over there. But let's get on into this. Ooh. It's not the... I really like the way they did the packaging on these. It has kind of like a sort of a premium sort of thing. Just, I don't know. Or maybe it's just because it's different that I like it. I don't know. But getting on into here. So, Darby Allen. The TNT. So, yeah. So Darby Allen there. Get this figure out here. Now I do also have the original one. That was one of the AEW Unrivaled figures. Going by what I can see from here, I think I might like this one just a little bit more. But I'll hold my judgment until I actually do a side-by-side. And then this one came with the TNT title, right? Excuse me, the TNT paint on there. So overall, pretty solid look, though. I really like the way they did the details on these. Overall, like all the AEW figures. So pretty cool. Moving along. see. Put that thing back in there. Makes this stuff easier to deal with later. Up next, Miro. So this figure right here looks pretty well done as far as like proportions and sizing and all that stuff, you know. So let's go getting on into it. And I'm gonna have to watch this later because I do want to see what Dynamite or what Punk and MJF are talking about. It's probably pretty good, you know. But that's why I have DVR and all that crap. You know what I'm saying? So go ahead and get this thing open. And now let's break on into this. It's nice how they have a little hole in the upper side there where you can actually get into these things. But if Darby and Punk get into it, you know, and this turns into like a full-on storyline or whatever, I kind of wonder how long it'll last, like how far it'll go, because I could imagine they could play this out for a bit, you know what I mean? Okay. Oh, they got the tape on the wrists there. Kind of don't like that, but it's a thing they do. So overall, there he is. He kind of has his original look before he, you know, I think his hair is a little bit different now. Got the back tattoo done pretty well, you know, if you stand him back anyway. The camo trunks. So pretty solid figure. Unfortunately, does have a little bit of a blemish on his face there on the side, but it's not a big deal, you know. It's not like a deal breaker or anything like that. Just something that's a little annoying when you buy something, but had I known that or had I paid attention, I probably would have been watching for these figures and bought another one. I should have a chance to because I've been seeing a lot of Miros in the stores, at least around here. I've been seeing a lot of AEW figures in general at the stores around here, so I might buy a new one just so I can have one that doesn't have a blemish on the face. I'm not overly picky about stuff like that, but if the opportunity is there, it's kind of like whatever, you know? So, Miss DMD right here, Britt Baker. This, now, I'm not against Britt Baker, but somebody, Jim Cornette, that's who it was, on the recent episode of his podcast, I think it was Jim Cornette, or maybe, no, it was on the Chick Foley show. They were talking about her, and they're like, yeah, she's cool and all, but like name any like solid match that she's had that you really like want to go back and rewatch, right? And then it's all crickets, because not that she can't have one, and other than since she had the title, because other than the match with Shakira, oh god, I can't even get her name out. Hikaru Shida. Outside of the match with her, no one's really talking about any of the specific matches she's had, right? And that one wasn't even a title match because that was before all that. So you start to think like, oh, when is she going to have these amazing matches that really make up a good title reign? She's beat some people, can't argue that, which does give some legitimacy to it, but the memories are just kind of not quite there other than just knowing that you like her. So just something that came up the other day. Okay. Kind of takes a little work to get some of these things out of here. But I do like to put plastic on certain pieces so they don't get too scuffed up, you know? And got the nice plasticky style jacket, you know? That's pretty cool. And now, let's see. Go ahead and push this back down. So I do need to get these pieces out of here later. I'm just kind of keeping everything together so I can put them in my little bags. Keep all this stuff where it's supposed to go. Now, but yeah, so there she is. Another shot, right? Pretty well done. Decent detail and whatnot. She feels like she's going to be a little dainty, but you know, that's kind of just how she looks on the inside without the jacket on. So I'll be putting up like pictures and stuff whenever I actually get around to getting my stuff organized on that shelf I was talking about, because I'm honestly not sure how I'm going to do it as far as like the layout and all that stuff. But yeah, they've got a lot of, they've been talking a good while here. But given how Punk's first debut win or whatever, like they seem to just give him however much time he needs, which is totally understandable because the rest of the show isn't always filled with just like amazing moments, you know? Like any wrestling program, it can get a little repetitive at times. Not for any fault of the people, just, you know, sometimes you just see the same matches a lot. So, let's go ahead and get on. Okay, this is, I always want to say Gold Dust, but Dustin Rhodes. So, I like that he kept doing the face paint thing. I kind of wonder what's behind like the colors he chose. Like why the red and why the blue. I mean, if anybody else out there knows, then cool, go ahead and let me know. But that's that. So, and then, like I said, I'll take out the remaining hands and whatnot a little bit later. Just need to get through this for now. But this, they did pretty well with like the way they did the proportions, how some people are like a little bit taller, some people a little bit shorter, you know, like the build of the individuals. Like he's always had like a, minus a couple of years, he had that tall, he's a big dude, but he's been like thin, big, you know, not like, I don't know, some people you see Brock Lesnar, he's just like wide. He's just kind of, he's not skinny, but he's just, I don't know, just a bit above average. You can tell he's got some size to him. And it just works out pretty well in my eyes. Where's that Kenny Omega? So like when you compare these two, then you can kind of see what I'm talking about, you know? Because Kenny's like one of those smaller, like old school Chris Jericho type looks, you know? And now this thing. I see these a lot nowadays. At first they were kind of hard to come by, but nowadays it's like I was just at Target like 2 hours ago or something, and they had like 3 of them on the shelves there. So if anybody's looking for these, the distribution seems to be a lot better than it was when they first came out. So that's always a good thing. And I think there's a piece up here too. So let's go ahead and get this thing open. Now, some people were kind of excited to get like the LJN style figures, right? I didn't have any wrestling figures when I was younger, so I just don't have that like nostalgia for it. I think it's cool that they're bringing it back and appealing to like some of those older fans. Yes, sure, but it just doesn't do anything for me. And given like that this figure doesn't really fit in with like the rest of them as far as sizes go and stuff, it's kind of just a weird thing to me. But once they do more waves, I'm guessing we'll end up with more of these. Forgot it comes with like a poster, so that's what that is. But let's get this thing out of here and see what it's like. This is a very weighty figure. It's got some size to it, you know? Kind of plasticky feeling. But yeah, I mean, and it's the first one with the neck tattoo, so that's cool, I guess. I mean, it's not a cool tattoo, but it's cool that they finally started using it. I mean, I get why they didn't before, because it takes time to make these figures or whatever. But accuracy is a nice thing to have, you know what I'm saying? And that is the first wave of the unmatched figures. Now we're doing Series 6 Unrivaled. While Punk and MJF talk about whatever they are talking about. If anybody's watching that and wants to let me know how it's going, because I can't hear them over me, that would be cool. But the thing is, I would stop and listen to it, but that's when the copyright strikes come in. But actually, I don't have monetizing turned on this video, so I probably could play it and not have to worry about it. Who knows? Who knows? But yeah, sometimes I turn the monetizing thing off, as far as ads go. I mean, because it's a little intrusive in some ways. I've always had mixed feelings about the ad stuff on here. Right? Don't get me wrong, like I have no problem accepting those direct deposits every 21st or so of the month. But I know that not everybody's trying to see ads all the time, so that's why I'm at least kind of careful with where I place them through my videos and when I even place them at all. Because I've seen some people talk about like how there's ads like every 2 minutes in some videos or something, and even by default, like if I upload a video on YouTube and I don't click to place the ads manually, it just fills that thing out. It'll be like a 10-minute video and there's like ads every 3 to 4 minutes or something. I'm like, this is unnecessary. So I stopped that because it's just doesn't seem cool. I wouldn't want to watch that crap. I mean, maybe other people disagree. Enough rambling. There is Penta, right? Now this figure right here, this gold here, I don't know. It's a tough call. I'm kind of leaning towards the black and white because it's just like a cooler look, with the mouth open. But neither of these compare to the Legends of Lucha Wrestling or whatever. I don't remember how long ago that video was, but I did a sort of an unboxing on those. Those figures, if you can find those still, like you probably have to go to eBay, but the Legends of Lucha, Penta, and the Ray Phoenix, those are like the ones to get. Like they were done so well, man. Like if you're a big figure guy, and you want the cool ones, or if you're just a completionist and you want to get all the stuff, yeah, that's the way to go in my eyes. Moving right along, and here we go. Ray Phoenix, right on cue, So now they've got to be doing some pretty good ratings tonight. I would hope, I don't know if they build this as the start to the show. And also, I think CM Punk came out in wrestling clothes, so I don't know if he's going to be wrestling tonight or what, but he looks like he might, which is a thing that some, like the Jim Cornette podcast was kind of complaining about, because they're like, oh, you got to keep him special, Like, don't put him on TV all the time, wrestling. It's going to lose the luster. I get it, but I disagree that I think they should just keep doing what they're doing. Are they in Chicago? Oh, yeah, they are, I believe. Because I see the Pro Wrestling Tees guys in the front row. Speaking of which, they're having a sale. So if you like wrestling or wrestling shirts or various other shirts, go to their website and buy something. There's your ad. So this Ray Phoenix, pretty good, right? It's got the little rat tail sort of thing going on back there. Always very well done with like the tattoos and all that good stuff. Where do you go? Penta. So looking side by side, like I was saying, you can tell the proportions and stuff. This guy's just a little bit bigger, not by a whole lot. As far as like height and weight goes, you can kind of tell there's a slight difference there. So good on them for keeping things the same. As far as like the same proportions, so not everybody looks the same. And one thing I will say about those Legends of Lucha figures I was talking about, those are really good and all, but the scaling isn't quite in line with like the AEW figures. So side by side, it'll look a little bit weird. Oh, now he's taking off the trunks. Not that wouldn't be okay. Taking off the clothes, like the business clothes and whatnot. It's like, oh yeah, I'm ready. Like, and then of course MJF goes out of the ring because that's how that works, right? You can't have the good guy, which is Punk, just kind of being able to just call fights out and then the bad guy fight him. He has to be a little, I don't know, weaselish heel that gets out of the way. And now, here we go. We got Hikaru Shida, the name that I could not say 10 minutes ago. Now it just rolls right off the tongue. I think I said Shakira at some point. Oh, yeah. So this is her first figure. Yeah. So, and she's got the women's title with her. See, this thing is focusing today. When I was doing this Sunday, not at all. Not at all. It was just looking at everything else out there. But yeah, so she's definitely like one of the best things going as far as like the women's roster goes, because all the other people out there, nothing against them, but there's just something missing when you watch them, you know? And I don't know what it is. You just can't get as into it, or at least I can't. But I like, you know, like Chris Statlander and those other girls and stuff. But just when I watch them, then it's like you want to believe that everybody could be like a, you know, a contender for the title or something, right? Because that's kind of the whole point of wrestling, is that people are trying to win belts or whatever and establish dominance in some kind of way. But then you watch some of the people and you're like, I don't know that you're in that league. And then when you see them in like matches, it's like sometimes you know, oh, there's no way she's gonna win, because like, why would she? And that kind of takes you out of the moment. You gotta suspend your disbelief and all that stuff. I get it, but it's not always easy. And I know this might come off a little weird, because I mean, it is just wrestling. It's not really that serious to most people. But, you know, when you talk about it enough, the lines kind of get blurry in a way, you know? Like, I know what's going on over there. But you still feel a certain way about it. You still, if you're going to give something your time and money, you at least want it to be worth it. And here, I watch this stuff to be entertained, so entertain me. And this is like the same color style, same pant style that on that Seth Rollins that I opened the other day. On both of them, actually, because they were both the same. Just one was gold and one was like dull gold. So yeah, Chris Jericho, the Ayatollah of rock and rollers, for whatever reason, walking around in a no shirt and a handkerchief around his neck. So I don't know. It's not a good look, people. It's not. But that's what he wants to wear. You know, he can do that because he's Chris Jericho, right? And he was the champ at that point. Oh, speaking of which, the AEW Amazon exclusives are currently in stock on Amazon as of like an hour or two ago. So you might still be able to get some or all of them. I don't know which ones are like the hot sellers or whatever, but I got two of them. There's four altogether. I got two of them. Just did the unboxing of those earlier tonight. And the other two I just ordered today. So we'll see how that goes. Now, Jake Hager. This is like the plainest looking figure, you know? It's like if I was a child and I was at the store, this is not the one that would make me want to buy wrestling figures, you know? The Chase probably is a lot better, I would assume and hope, but I don't have the Chase, so that doesn't really matter now, does it? But I am keeping my eye out, not just for me, but for, oh my God, I can't think of the dude's name now. Mark Nelson. Mark Nelson. He's one of the guys that watches my videos from time to time, like the wrestling ones. And he is on the lookout for those, so I'm trying to keep an eye out for him, you know? Because apparently over in the UK, they don't get a lot of the figures like that. So if I can help out one of my fellow, well, not fellow UK guys, but fellow collector guys, I'll do it, you know? It's a thing that I do, try to put some good energy out into the world. And oftentimes it comes back around. So, I mean, I don't do it so I can get good things in return. I do it because the world often sucks and it needs a little bit of balance. There we go. Jake Hager, everybody. Let's pull this thing down. Okay, and he's got the plastic thing on his head to kind of keep from, you know, getting, I don't know, the head all scuffed up, I guess. So, very plain figure. I saw him when I was in town for the Charlotte event, the Charlotte Dynamite, which was Fight for the Fallen. Seemed like a pretty nice guy, you know? So that's cool. And there's that. But yeah, this figure though, this is just, I mean, it's one of the Velcro ones because that's how you take this crap off or whatever. But yeah, I'm not gonna deal with that now because if I'm gonna do it in a hurry, someone tells me I'll just like rip it. But just know that you got part of the inner circle here, part of it. Actually, this was the initial. Wasn't he like the first member or something? Or maybe he just appeared on the first Dynamite. I don't know. Either way, he's been around for a bit. And now, last but not least, out of this particular set, you got this right here, MJF, who was just on TV moments ago saying whatever. Now we got CM Punk versus QT Marshall, and there's, forget that dude's name, the big, I don't know, mountain man looking dude. I think I rode an elevator with him that, back in Charlotte. Didn't say anything to him. I wasn't sure what his name was. I recognized him, but I was like, I don't have anything to say to this dude. And Austin says hello to me. Hello to you, Austin. How are you, Austin? Things are going okay over here. Just opening up a bunch of boxes so I can, have this stuff laid out and do something with it. Clean up some of the clutter in the apartment, because I haven't been as consistent with my reviews and stuff lately, It's not so easy all the time because sometimes real life things need your attention. This QT Marshall match, though, I don't know if it's just because I've seen a bunch of just crap from him as far as things that weren't entertaining, but it's a little hard to watch him for now. I actually got not a free shirt, but I got a shirt of his through like a mystery bag the other day, and I don't even know if I want to wear it. But it is a tank top, and I do like tank tops, so who knows? Where'd that go? So, pick this thing back up. This is MJF. Comes with a microphone because that's just what makes sense, right? Standard stuff. It's got like the plaid type style things going on. It's not. I guess it's not really plaid. I don't know. It might be like a Jewish type of thing, like some Jewish wear, because he is Jewish. But I don't know. I just figured that because it didn't quite look like just normal stuff people would wear, like a normal style or whatever. It seemed like there was some meaning behind it. So who knows? I mean, I'm not Jewish, so my understanding of what goes on in that world, it's non-existent. So MJF once again, not a bad figure. Looks very much the same as the last one, just this one doesn't come with a scarf. So if you're looking for an MJF figure, I'd probably go with whatever series that was, probably 2 or 3. Moving on, TNT Pro Wrestling Booking Agency. Hello from Ocala, Florida. Love your videos. Appreciate that. I would compliment your videos, but I'm going to be honest, I haven't seen them, and I don't even know if you have any. If you do have any, let me know, and I will check them out. Maybe not all of them, because I don't know how many you have. But if you have any, I'm willing to see what you have going on. I am. Because you were willing to give me at least, 10 to 15 seconds of your time to click on this video and leave a message. The least I could do is return the favor in some kind of way. It's all about being fair. At least around here, that's how I feel. Some people don't feel that way, and I get it. They're just selfish. They want you to watch their stuff, but they're not going to watch your stuff. So, I don't know. Weird people out there. Okay, so this is Dax Hardwood. As you see on the side, hopefully that's not really coming in now, is it? But anyways, it says Dax Hardwood on the side, which is not his name. It's close, but not quite it. Move these guys over here. So, but that'll probably help me to remember what their names are, because as it stands now, I often forget. So there he is, a little bit closer in some ways, not so blurry because of the plastic. And they do come with the title belts, the tag titles, of course. So there's going to be that for you. And that really makes my hands look all like super ashy. Maybe they are just ashy. Should put some lotion on or something. I'm over here doing videos looking all homeless. Homely? I don't know. Maybe both. But anyways, so surprisingly, this CM Punk and QT Marshall match is still happening for whatever reason. There we go. This one's running out. Needs to replace that with a new one. I keep the lotion over here because I do actually like put this on before I do videos sometimes. Because if I'm holding shoes out and all that good stuff, you got to kind of put your best foot forward and not look like trash. That's my opinion anyway. Not that I'm a big guy on looks. If you've seen pictures of me, like how I look, how I dress, whatever, I'm not a big looks guy. But you get how to at least do a little bit of something. Moving right along. This is Lance Archer, right? I also rode an elevator with this guy. He's a pretty cool dude too. So, I make it sound like I was just riding elevators the whole time. No, that's not what happened. But, when you're staying on like the 3rd floor or something, elevators become a thing that you do. So, a lot of people were saying that this is the best figure of the bunch, right? Now, is it? I don't know. Once I get a closer look, I might feel like it is. But I will say, it's not hard to top the FTR, and the Young Bucks is probably going to look, it's not going to be anything new. So there's that. And then, who else? Nyla Rose. I recall not really caring for the Nyla Rose figure for some reason. I don't know what it was, but something about it was just kind of rubbing me the wrong way. Man, why is this still happening? Like, it's not really doing a good thing for old Punk here. But I guess how long can you make the guy look like he's an amazing dude? You know what I'm saying? Like, people like him. He's over with the crowd. Like, that is not going to change, I guess. So maybe that's why they can do this. Somebody else, it might not have that same effect. So, Lance Archer, right? Like I was saying, I think it is pretty good, especially once you start to see like some of the detail a little closer and whatnot. Like down around the pants and all that stuff. Which is why I need to start doing actual videos of these things, bring you guys that 4K quality. Let's see, doing good from Arizona. I've been watching your videos of unboxing mystery and botched t-shirts from Pro Wrestling Tees, and bought some weeks ago. Hey, nice, cool. Well, and they're having a sale right now, so if there was some stuff you wanted and didn't feel like paying too much for it, now might be your window. I actually just opened a few shirts today. That video will probably go up tomorrow. It's going to be surrounded by a bunch of random action figures too, so you have to sit through some of that as well, or just kind of fast forward along. DS Kicks, what's going on, man? Appreciate you stopping in. So yeah, this is actually a really good looking figure though, so it might actually be the benchmark for this wave. So, not bad, not bad. I don't know where the Nyla Rose is then. Okay, she's next. Oh, after this, she's next. So, this being Cash Wheeler, right? I remember his name somewhat now because he's not Dax Hardwood. Process of elimination. Oh, looks like CM Punk is finally going to hit the go to sleep so everybody can wake up and let this match be over. And there it is. There it is. But yeah, I've been shopping with Pro Wrestling Tees for a while now. And it's cool, because they have so many different things and they have sales all the time. You get to choose your shirt quality and type and all that stuff. You got long sleeves, short sleeve, V-necks, tall ones, short ones. Well, I don't know if they have short ones. Women ones. Yeah. And so I don't really promote it a whole lot, but a while ago, like I opened up a store on Pro Wrestling Tees so I could like sell shirts through them, And I just think that's the coolest thing in the world. That like the store that I'm always shopping on with all like my favorite wrestlers on it, a lot of them anyway. Like I am also able to sell stuff like right there in that same store. It's a little surreal in some ways, but it's not like I had to go out of my way for it. I just had to show that I have some sort of social media presence and get approved by them, right? And so that happened. It probably helps that I every month review their boxes and stuff and tag them and promote it and stuff, which is why I'm also featured on parts of the Pro Wrestling Crate page, but still, it's just cool to have shirts amongst other shirts that I like. And now, so there we go. These jackets are fairly bulky, like meaning that it's wide. You know, you can tell just how much thinner the figure is. So this makes him look like it's gonna be like a big kind of guy, but not really, not really. Because then when you open that up, you look inside, you can tell that it's just like a normal sized dude in there, you know, just with a big old suit, kind of like a fat suit, you know. So there's that. Now, let's get this felt out of here, though. Okay. Put this over here with old Dax, or Cash, I mean. Oh, now there's Christian. I was kind of surprised to see Christian show up in AEW, you know? Because I just didn't... It's not like it seemed like, oh, I'm surprised they took him. I'm just surprised that he cared to go. Because, you know, I mean, he's been around a while, done a lot of stuff. Like, he could easily just kind of hang out back at home and not do anything and probably still just be okay for like the rest of his life. You know what I'm saying? Which is a cool thing, you know? I cannot say the same. I mean, maybe if I like set aside more money a month or something, then I could live that life. But as it stands right now, I don't. I set aside some because, you know, the future is important. You got to be somewhat ready for it. But I do also live in the now, and so that's why I buy a bunch of random stuff. Have I checked out the WWE shop Black Friday sales yet? And have you purchased anything yet? I haven't seen... Well, no, that's not even true. Let me start that over. So they had a sale a few weeks ago, and I opened up tabs on my phone or on my laptop or something to see, you know, of the things that I liked. And so I was going to go back and buy them eventually. So I haven't seen what those prices are like on the shirts that I did want. But now that you make me think of that, I might go back and, you know, have to look into that. Nyla Rose, ladies and gentlemen. So she's I mean, you know, because I know she used to be like a guy at some point or whatever. And so when you see her, it's like, it's kind of weird, you know? Not that there's anything wrong with that in itself. It's just like, you know, it's just like such a mix of things going on because she's got like a guy kind of build, but she's a woman now. So it's just, you know, it's just something that catches your attention. I'll leave it at that. A lot of people were kind of upset about the fact that she won the women's title a while ago. I mean, understanding their side of it, okay, I see where they're coming from, but, you know, the world is different nowadays, you know? But yeah, something about the face of this figure is just awkward to me. It just seems a little weird, but maybe it's not a bad figure, but I don't think it's great either. I think something's just a little off as far as accuracy goes. But yeah, I'll have to check out the Nyla Rose stuff. Excuse me, the WWE shop things later because I'm curious what kind of stuff they have. Though, unfortunately, one of the things that I wanted, they don't sell anymore because they fired a bunch of people and got rid of some of their shirts. So sometimes, like, if it's pre-made stuff, it'll stay in stock until they just sell out of it, which is why you can still buy, like, Fiend shirts or whatever. And some things, it's like they're made to order-ish, so they just took them down right off the top. And I don't appreciate it, because I was really looking forward to getting me a John Morrison shirt, and now I will not, which is sad. Well, I take that back. I do have that Miz and Morrison shirt. Hey, hey, ho, ho, you know? So, I don't know. I'll probably check it out. Maybe, depending on how long I'm on here, like what all I'm doing, because I still got some shoes to get to. So, Nick Jackson, right here. So, I kind of like this one a little bit more than, it's definitely better than the first one because they had the Elvis thing on it. I just thought it looked bad. But this one, it's pretty all right. I don't know, where's the other figures? The other one had like, I guess, gold and blue colors, gold and blue. So I don't know. I'll have to do a side by side, you know. That's when you really can tell. Because right now, looking at that stuff from a distance, it is not easy to tell because Luchasaurus is in the way, Cody's in the way. Who's that? Jungle Boy, a couple Kenny Omegas and some John Moxleys. A bunch of stuff is in the way, you know. So it's hard to see things. Last but not least, though, of the Young Bucks, I would say he's my least favorite. This is the last one that I'll be opening up out of. Did I close that? Out of this little set. So let's go ahead and see what's in here. See what this thing's looking like. I assume it's going to look exactly like the previous one, just with a slightly different colored beard or something. Because that's kind of how the Young Bucks are. And now, who is this? Eddie Kingston is getting into it with 2.0 and Daniel Garcia. Which is, I mean, more than likely, this is going to be the feud where he gets some wins finally. Because he hasn't had a lot of them, that's for sure. Some t-shirts are from 5 to 20. Yeah, because I know I want to get this ECW shirt, like the ECW logo and the Heatwave 98 shirt. So let's see. Oh, boy. Okay. And in case anybody's wondering, I don't normally like wear AEW shirts just because I'm watching Dynamite. This is really just a coincidence, honestly. I'm wearing this because I did the Pro Wrestling Crate this month, or today for this month. So there we go. And usually when I do the Pro Wrestling Crate unboxings, I wear Pro Wrestling Crate shirts from the previous month. So yeah, definitely prefer Nick Jackson over Matt Jackson as far as looks go. Something about this one just, I don't know, just looks too not good. And now there's Barry County, the Gun Club. So this is that one of those matches where I was talking about earlier, where it's like you see it and you don't really care to see it. All right. And now that didn't take as long as I thought it would, because I just felt like it was going to take forever, which luckily it didn't. So now I'm going to scoot this thing back just a little bit. And got us, now that we're done with all the wrestling, got some shoes, because I do my share of the shoe reviews and whatnot as well. It's a thing that passes the time. So let's go ahead and see what's going on in this one. As you can tell by the tape here, it's Adidas. So did that freeze? I'm getting a little cautious of the way this tape or the way this stuff is going here. So this is going to be a Simpsons box. So the Simpsons, this is the Krusty Burger, because these came in stock over the weekend. It's like a 48 hours only sort of thing. So there you go, side of the box for people that like to see sides of boxes. This is a ZX 1000, ZX 10,000. So hopefully that means it's even better than the other ZXs I have, because those other ones are pretty nice as far as quality and such goes. And this is something. It doesn't feel at all how I thought it was going to feel, because I didn't know what the materials were going to be like. But basically, you got a lot of, like, what is that? Kind of like canvas type of feel, almost like what you would see on Vans shoes. So that's a lot of what's going on here, right? All this, it's very colorful too. But then as you get to the back, you got a little bit of this carpet type feel going on, where you have like the crusty hair stuff, and then you got the logo back there. The coloring in this monitor and in this webcam, not great. So whenever I get around to actually doing the review, then you'll see this in its glory as far as how it actually looks. And it's got a nice little gum bottom down there. second pair of laces, right? I do like these black ones a little bit more. Am I going to switch them out? Probably not, because I don't like relacing shoes. These came in here and they will likely just stay in there. And you have some extra lace debris in this little bag over here, because that's the thing that they do with these from time to time. What is going on there? Jesus Christ. Like, I don't know if you guys saw this tackle that Darby Allen just did. That was perfectly timed and looked terrible. Like, it looked good, but it looked like it was terrible for that dude that had to take it. But yeah, and then on the inside, typical stuff, Simpsons and the Adidas logo. Let me see, does the other shoe have anything? No, there's nothing going on special with the other shoe. But yeah, so these right here, like I said, they brought them in stock for 48 hours. So I made my order. They shipped them like the next day or something like that. And now here they are. So this, I'd also like to switch that out with one of these over here, you know. Looks like they got one in there that's like got the actual crusty thing, you know. I don't know if you can see that. So these are looking like they are pretty nice. And all for $130, I think. I think that's what these cost. Because I'd kind of wanted them when they came around the first time, just like the raffle didn't go my way. So when I saw the notice that they were bringing them back, I tried to make the order. Something went wrong, so I closed the Adidas thing, reopened it, and I couldn't find the shoes. But then later that day, they sent out an actual email saying, hey, click here if you want to buy them. And so here we are. Put that over there. Up next, this comes from Hanan or Hanan. I'm not sure how that's pronounced, but I can't show you the top because it has my address on it, and I'm not trying to give you guys that. But let's go ahead and get on in here, see what we're looking at. So this is another Adidas purchase. So it's a different style box, so that's cool. So there you have that. Like I'm saying, on the top of the box is a different logo than you would normally see. And this comes from the consortium, so I guess that makes it some kind of special. And then if you look over here, you got the Adidas equipment. So it's kind of one of those sort of shoes, right? That's some nice paper they have in here. As far as presentation goes, I am cool with that. So, and oh yeah, that's why I wanted these, the corduroy. I'm a corduroy guy. Like, I don't know if you can tell from the pictures or in the video, but that's what I'm wearing right now. I wear a lot of that, actually. So overall, I mean, what is this? Equipment RW? What does that even mean? I don't know. But there was some sort of like limited number of these that they were putting out there, and I was like, well, we'll try it. We'll see what happens. And so luckily I was able to get them. So that's pretty cool. I like the way they did the back. Got a little bit of purple over there. And this one just says the Hanan, whatever. Almost lost a shoe there for a second there. But up on the top, you got some sort of like, almost feels like kind of like a nubuck sort of thing up there, you know, on the top of the toe box. Like I'm saying, you got some sort of corduroy going on for a lot of it. Got some suede over here on the middle. Some more suede towards the back end, kind of. Yeah, these materials are pretty all right. Tongue's the same sort of stuff. And then over here, you have 3 different colored laces. So presentation-wise, I don't remember what I paid for these, but it was probably a fair amount, given that I had to buy them from an overseas place. Let me see. Does it say in here? Let's see. Okay, not too bad. Then again, I don't think that's in dollars. So maybe it was kind of bad. Because I'm pretty sure these retail for, it says I paid a total of $105. Well, 105. I'm pretty sure that's not dollars. It's probably euros. But either way, here we are. It's an interesting look. I'm not going to say the model is my favorite, right? But it's kind of cool. So I'll give them a pass for that. Like I said, I like that corduroy thing they have going on. Now, this is a Nike box. like a Nike sneakers box, because that's where this particular shoe came from, which is not a common thing for me. Usually, I don't get anything from there because they just don't sell me stuff. You know, you got to put in on the raffles or the draws. This time around, as you can see, it's a Jordan 1 box. You know, the last time I got a Jordan 1 box, it was March with the University Blue 1s. And that was, I didn't fully want those. I was curious to see what they were like. But it wasn't like, oh my God, I got to get them. It never is. But these right here, oh wow, people kept saying like the material on these was amazing and stuff. And now looking at them, yeah, I see what you're getting at. Because these right here, let me see, make sure this is kind of in the screen in the right way here. Move that over just a little bit. Yeah, so these are the Bordeaux 1s. They're not showing up very well because the lighting in here is terrible. But just take my word for it. Let me bring this a little closer. Like, these are pretty solid as far as the quality goes, though. I can't complain about that, not one bit. Got a nice little purple sort of color, purple and white going on. When I first saw these, I was like, okay, that's fine. You know, it's not amazing, but whatever. And so they did the draw. Was it a draw? I honestly don't remember. Or maybe you just had to like click on it on time or something. Either way, I put in for them, and then I got the little email saying, "Oh, we've charged your PayPal," or whatever the situation was. And so now here they are. And I will say that even though my outlook on them has not changed, I'm not a huge fan of this silver swoosh, by the way. Even though my outlook overall has not changed, I will say that this material, much like people said, is very soft. So that's kind of cool, I guess. But they still definitely lose points for coming without being laced up, right? That is a thing that I do not like about the Jordan 1s. Something else that I got recently also came unlaced. The Midwest Kids, what was that, Forum 84 Low Adidas shoe, right? Yeah, that was also unlaced, and I was not happy about it. So, there we go. Got this, and I'll eventually do that review. I'm in no hurry whatsoever, though, to be completely honest. And I say that just because I have a lot of other ones. I have some that have been recorded already and just not edited. I have some that still need to be edited or recorded. And now we've got, what is this, Leo Rush and Team Taz. I don't know what's going on here, but I'm curious to see how it plays out, because it's got a little bit of, it's got some layers to it, you know, like an onion. Go ahead and sit that guy down there. Yeah, so judging by this box, you can tell this has been sitting around here for a while, right? Side of the box, there you go. That's that. This particular box came from, oh, look, he's sharing his chips with him. So I guess that's that. Looks like Dante Martin has left Leo Rush. But anyway, so this box comes from Hibbett, according to that little sticker in there. And this is going to be, I should probably take both of these out. This is the Royalty 12s. I think that's what they were called, the Royalty 12s. And it's not bad, you know? It's not at all. This is modeled after the Taxi, if I recall correctly, right? And I gotta say, as a big 12s guy, and you know, like with the Taxi being like one of the 12s, I never thought the Taxi was like all that amazing. But to me, it just seemed plain because, you know, it's just black and white. And so now looking at this one, you know, I mean, I think I'd prefer the Taxi because, you know, without the gold, I think it'd be a little bit better. But I'm not going to say this is awful by any means. It's just, I can see why there were some people saying, I think I'm good. I'm not going to go for those because, you know, I want the other thing or whatever. But they're not bad in their own way. So that's cool. But I better take out both pair of these, or both shoes of these or whatever, just to see for sure that they're both on the up and up. Part of the reason I do these, because if I don't do the unboxing when I do the review, then I at least like it to still be recorded. So that way, if I have to, make a point about something like, oh, look, see, I told you it was scuffed down there, and you can't really see it like down in there. I at least have something that I could refer to if it needed to happen. Or if they get stolen, I still have, footage to that I could show my insurance. But like, look, I did have all these things, and here's some videos to prove it. So that's part of the reason I do some of this stuff. But yeah, so they're not bad. They aren't, I would have preferred them without that gold, but it is what it is. I'm not going to complain about it. So there's that. And we'll just set this down here. Push this slightly out of the way. Okay. Now I just got one more of these boxes to get through. And this one comes from Sneakers. Let me open the top of it though. So now we got Thunder Rosa and looks like Jamie Hager. So this one, see, now this is one of those women's matches that should be pretty solid, right? Because both of these women have so far been doing just fine by me. This Hater woman has been like in a smaller dose on account of like she's kind of new, but Thunder Rosa for sure. Definitely a fan of hers. So, and she has a shirt that I want though. So, given that I just bought a bunch of WWE shirts, I'll probably spend more on pro wrestling tees. And so this time around, another 12 box, right? Side of the box, 8.5, meaning it's like my own personal size. And opening this thing up, second verse, same as the first, exactly the same as the first, right here. So I got through on Sneakers and I got through on Hibbett, right? Yeah, so since they both went through at the same time, I was going to go back and cancel this one because you have like an hour to cancel your Sneakers orders. But then I figured, you know what? Let me just ride this out because I feel like if I cancel it, that'll look bad on me. And then who knows when I'll get through on another shoe. Little did I know I was going to get through the very next weekend. But either way, so this is just another pair. Same size as the first, because like I said, it is my size. So I'll probably just keep this pair at like mom's house or something like that. Hey, they're going back to Charlotte in January. I wonder if Derek knows that. So there you go. But yeah, I just saw that Charlotte is going to have another AEW Dynamite in January. So I might just have to go to that. And then here's the other one. This one is looking better. These two are looking better overall than the Hibbett pair. The Hibbett pair had some issues, but this one looks pretty solid. So that's cool. And that's one of the other good things about like if you happen to get like two pairs or something, I know some people like they do that and then like they just kind of sell the one that they don't want, pick the best left and the best right. Me, these are both mine, so that does nothing for me. It's just nice to know that I have at least one solid one. And really the blemish on there, not that big of a deal. But yeah, so those are all the shoes, all the figures. Now I can cut these boxes up so I can get them flattened down and put away. But these things here, this is a very weird look though, right? I mean, if this silhouette was not made of these materials, I would likely not have gone for it. Got the nice consortium thing at the top. Yeah, it's kind of cool, but mostly just for the materials, It's got this weird red and black inside. But anyway, so suplex on the outside, there's no way that can feel good, I mean, not at all. But they do it like it's nobody's business. Probably just while they're in the moment, you probably don't notice so much. And I don't know if I pointed out, but that gum bottom down there is a good thing as well. So that is all the stuff. And if you guys got any questions, you want to say anything to me, you don't have to sit there and watch in silence or whatever. There's like 3 people out there watching this, but they're just kind of sitting back and not saying anything, which I understand it, right? I get that sometimes people are just watching things and it's in the background, they're not really thinking about it, but it's still kind of weird to me, you know? So like even me, like when I'm watching it live and not really like paying attention, I'll still jump in every couple minutes and like say something. It's like, what? That's pink on there? Who knew? Or oh man, I didn't know Hibbit had those already. You know, random comments like that based on whatever I'm hearing. But yeah, so anyways, Thunder Rosa and this Jamie Hader thing, right? I feel like this is probably one of those things that'll come back around later or something, you know? Given that there's supposed to be two of like the top ladies in this women's division, there's no way that they're just gonna have this match and be done with it. Like that's just not how wrestling works. You've seen it, you know what I'm talking about. But let's see what. Oh, it's 9. Okay, so it's what, an hour left in this show or something. But yeah, so I don't know if there's anything you guys want to. Well, I'm not gonna be showing off so much because like I'm not trying to like walk away from what I'm watching here unless it's during a commercial break. So if you do want to see something or hear more about something that I do have, go ahead, leave a comment down in there somewhere. I'll try to answer the question the best I can because if you ask me outside of this, I'm probably not going to, look into it as much, honestly, because this is like my free time, right? When I'm not doing this, I'm usually tied up with, for a while, there's like the school thing. Otherwise, there's like other crap that I'm doing. So sometimes I'm just a little bit busy, and the replies to comments, you only are going to get what I can say off the top of my head when you ask me a question. I'm not going to dig out shoes and stuff. What do you think of WWE releasing a lot of talent since last year and now? So here's the weird thing about that, right? I don't know how long you've been watching, feel free to say, but a while ago, it used to be like they'd release some wrestlers like once a year or something, and it'd be like random names of people that you knew they hadn't been on TV in months, and you kind of just forgot about them, and that was it. Or maybe if, it might be like one person, and like you hear that they got in some trouble with the law or something, and then they got released because of that. So it just made more sense. And now it's like every 2 or 3 months, it's just like a random list of names. And it's not even people that they're not doing stuff with. It's people that are like Keith Lee or something where they put him on TV for a while, and they take him off TV for a while, and they bring him back, and then 2 weeks later he's fired. And it's the strangest thing. I don't get it. Now a lot of people are saying that it's on account of them like downsizing so that they can sell the company, and whoever buys it probably is going to want it more streamlined and like a smaller crowd, right? Because it's less to buy, I guess, because like the contracts of the people. But it's not cool, like, is my overall feeling. Because some of those, while yeah, you can get rid of them, a lot of those people that aren't really like doing a lot for the company, in a lot of cases, it's their own fault. Like you take Keith Lee and Karrion Kross, right? They were huge names. They were doing really big things in NXT. They're still the same people when they go to work on Monday night or Friday night, but you package them up all weird and nobody cares. I mean, what do you expect to happen? You know? So, I can see from a business standpoint why they might be doing it, but also from a business standpoint, I still feel like you could accomplish the same thing in a better way, or maybe just not keep hiring people all the time. Maybe you should have like planned ahead and thought, oh, should we hire all these people for these like 3, 4, 5 year contracts? Probably not. You know, get a few people, see how things go. If people start to leave or whatever, or if there's like an exception out there and someone looks like they're truly worth having, yeah, go ahead and pick them up. But don't just do what they were doing years ago and buy people out just because you don't want them to work somewhere else, because that was the thing that was going on. So yeah, it's not okay, man. Like the way they're going about doing that. I'm not going to miss all of them, but it is still unfortunate when people get fired, especially like, you know, around the holiday time. That kind of sucks probably a little bit more, but I would assume that a lot of them are pretty pretty well off on the financial side of things, so it shouldn't hit them as hard as it would like your average American or something. But nobody likes to see anybody get fired. The way WWE was promoting Hit Row had a lot of potential, and then that was the craziest thing because like they just they just brought them up to the main roster. Like, wasn't it like it was? I don't know that it had been a month total. What is it, man? She is destroying this poor girl. But yeah. So it probably been about a month that they'd been brought up to like the SmackDown or Raw or whatever show they were on. And then they got rid of the girl, BFAB, like, and that was like 2 weeks after they got brought up there. And then 2 weeks after that, they get rid of the rest of them. And if you look like, what, 2 months ago, they were like the main thing on NXT. Like they were having their big three-way matches or 3-on-3 matches with the Phantasma something or other, whatever that group is called. Like they had just took Swerve, and they were building him up pretty well over the previous like 6 months after he won the North American title and all that stuff. So it was weird that they put build up all this stock around the dude for nothing. Oh, now it looks like they're going to go with Hager and Britt, which makes sense, I guess, because there's really no reason for her to be in Britt's shadow or whatever. But you got to do a little bit of something to kind of build up some animosity, build up a little bit to tell a story. So now, what is it? So now I guess we're going to see Chris Statlander and Ruby Soho next. And the winner of that fights Nyla Rose. But yeah, it is just weird, man, that they put so little, I don't know, consistency into their product. Like, usually in the past, what I got used to was things playing out for like a long period of time, and you'd have people that were almost untouchable. I mean, they didn't do anything with, what was his name, one of the Usos, when he got like a DUI. Like, they just kind of looked the other. On the surface, it seems that they looked the other way. I don't know if they like fined him or whatever, but he kept showing up to wrestling every week, being in the storylines still to this day. So I think that was a poor decision. I mean, I get that you've got some stuff you want to do, but it still, to me, sends the wrong message overall. But hey, I'm not the one making the rules, I'm just one of the fans, kind of sort of watching their shows sometimes and making my own personal decisions. When Mickie James, who's my favorite wrestler, came back to WWE in 2017, I was hoping she'll get another title shot. Yeah. Oh, yeah, like, apparently she feels the same way, like that she was kind of wasted there. I mean, I would say the same. Like, she seemed like it wasn't one of those things where, like, when you bring back certain people that have been gone for a while, they just add nothing to the show because, like, they're beyond the time when they can be active and truly put on good matches, right? Like how they keep bringing back Goldberg and they give him the belt, and like nobody wants to see that. But she was actually like doing something, and now she's in, what's that, Impact, right? I think she's on Impact now, and she seems to be doing well over there. She's got one of their belts, so that's cool. But what I was gonna say before is it's not really completely related to that, but so Mickie James is from Richmond, which is like an hour and 15 minutes from here or something. And apparently she was performing at this place where I've seen a couple concerts before. So there's a possibility that I might get to see her do her music thing at some point whenever she's like doing local shows again. So that'd be pretty cool. Which means I probably need to find me like a Mickie James figure. So like if I do go, I can maybe like get it signed or something, because that'd be cool. Because it'd be a nice thing to kind of have. Like, I don't have many signed things like that, and It's just because when I go to wrestling things, they're usually out of town. So me taking a bunch of stuff with me is just not really in my best interest. So let's see here. We need to send a message to somebody. It's like I was saying, the AEW show in Charlotte is not far off, so should probably look into getting tickets for that if old Derek wants to go again. Because he's an old work friend of mine from years ago, but we still hang out like not regularly because we live in different states, but we still keep up with each other and stuff. So I just need to find him on here so I can send him a quick little message. Back to so, and we'll see if he wants to do that or not. But yeah, they definitely did waste that woman. Like, she had potential, still has it, and is actually showing it. But I guess they just wanted her to be Alexa Bliss's little buddy, basically. And initially that made sense, but you would think it kind of, since Alexa had I think she had the title during that time frame at some point, you would think it would have turned into one of those stereotypical, oh, like the two friends are now mad at each other. Then they fight for the belt at some pay-per-view. I'm not saying it necessarily had to be like a WrestleMania main event, but I'm sure they could have done something like maybe like a SummerSlam or something, just to kind of give her, to just kind of top off her run, say, okay, well, she won the belt here, let her hold on to it for like a couple months or something, and then she loses it, right? No problem. You just give people their time in the sun, and then she loses, and it's like loser leaves town match or something, and then they just kind of go their separate ways. I mean, because like especially when you look at, again, I'm a Chris Jericho fan. I am, but nobody's going to argue that his matches are still as good as they were at some point in the past. He's not terrible, but it's not all there like it once was, and that just kind of sucks. But Mickey James, though, I don't know, and that's again they've done that with other people too. Not saying it makes it right. It just becomes expected, and if it becomes expected, like it starts to get to the point of, okay, like, are people going to stop showing up for these returns, or are they just going to keep taking the money? Because it's probably some pretty good money, not going to lie. I mean, I don't know how I'd feel about it, but I'd probably do, like, if I was in their situation, and this is just speculation, right? But a lot of the people that go to AEW or Impact or Ring of Honor that could be there, they do it because, yeah, they might not make as much money, but they know that they'll have a better time over there, and that seems to mean a lot. It's like me, like with my work situation. I mean, I could possibly make more money doing what I do somewhere else or whatever, but the work environment, though, like the one I have now, is really good. So that's kind of what keeps me there, right? I mean, if I wasn't making enough money to pay my bills and buy Chris Jericho figures, then we might have a problem. But I do, so I'm okay. And obviously, like random shoes and stuff, right? Buy me some new 12s every 2 or 3 months, or however often 12s come out. Yeah, I'm not really a fan of that gold text on the back either. I don't know, something about it just doesn't belong. But yeah. I haven't watched any other people's reviews on these. I'm curious to know what people think, but I generally don't watch a lot of reviews of stuff if I plan to get it for myself, so that's why I've avoided all of them. But even past that, like when it comes to like shoe reviews, I kind of just don't like watching them, because it's like I watch them as a courtesy to my friends and stuff, and sometimes they can be funny or entertaining or insightful, give them whatever /dot type rating if Does anybody here go to slash dot? But either way, they do that, and so then I'm able to get some kind of value out of it. But I don't watch a shoe review and think, oh yeah, I'm definitely gonna get these, because like I watch them just because. If I'm gonna buy something, it's solely based off of the look or the material, as is the case here. And I don't care what people say about it. I don't care how bad it might be. I just know that I like it. So that's just kind of how I am with that sort of thing, you know. But anyway, it's now Daniel Bryan versus I just saw him. It's one of the guys from Dark World, Colt Cabana versus Colt Cabana, and that I don't know how this is gonna go. I mean, there's a clash of styles here, right? Because Daniel Bryan Danielson, he's a very technical sort of guy. He's got a little bit of like the high flying in there sometimes. And then Colt Cabana is kind of just like, he got his big thing is kind of being like a joke type wrestler, you know, like Yano or whatever. But I think he's supposed to actually be pretty good too, if he needs to be. So we'll see what happens. Because I assume he's going to do a lot of his little funny things and try to mess with Daniel Bryan or something, and then eventually lose because of it. So we'll see. We'll see. But he's also part of the hometown crowd here, because they got all these Chicago guys and stuff. I see people with his little face there, and they got his, like I said, the Pro Wrestling Tees guys are in the front row. So, but yeah, these, I didn't watch anything about them, so I don't know where people really ended up as far as their outlook on them. But the initial thing was people saying, "Oh no, I don't need these," and then I saw there's a million people saying they don't need them, but then of course everybody on my timeline was like, "Oh yeah, look, I got them, confirmed my reservation today." It's like, pick a lane, people. Which is it? And so I ignored all that until I could get mine, and now that I have mine, I mean, I'm not saying I'm gonna go back and watch the other ones. I might watch one, possibly two, but the days of me watching like several reviews of the same shoe, that ended a while ago. Like what that ended with the Obsidian UNC Jordan 1s in 2019, because I watched a whole bunch of reviews because it was like everybody in my timeline had them. And after I was done, I was like, I'm never doing this again. Never again. Because I mean, some people put their own spin on things, right? Some people might add a little more insight than others. But ultimately, after a certain point, you've kind of just grown tired of it. It's like, how many times can you look at people talk about the same freaking thing? And that's overall how I feel about YouTube in general. Sometimes, like if it's like a big release weekend, like depending on like the Saturday or whatever, like if you check, if for me, since it's all just like other YouTube folks that are doing a lot of the same crap, what I see of them is very much just, you know, hey, everybody got the new, I don't know, whatever came out last week, and the Bordeaux one, right? Everybody got the Bordeaux one, and they all talk about it, and I get it. But at what point do you stop? It also makes it harder for you, and in some ways, the way I see it, it makes it kind of hard for you to like stand out. If you post up a video that everybody else posts, it's like you're fighting against like 12 other dudes to have yours seen. Everybody has their stuff that will always be seen by like a certain group. Like I have like four to five, something like that, people that will watch my videos and comment on them every time. Like every time. And that's cool, right? Even though like I know that they're watching a lot of repeated stuff, because like I'm not the only one buying anything. I do appreciate it, but at the same time, I do feel like, hey, I'd be okay if you didn't watch this, because I totally get it. Totally off topic, but I just want to say I'm watching your YouTube tips videos, and I appreciate you sharing those best practices. I'm a new channel, less than a few months, still fun. Okay, appreciate that, because like those things, and let me know if you have any specific questions or whatever, because a lot of that stuff, I mean, I did those in February. Yeah, because I did them right before I went to go visit some family. So a lot of that stuff it still holds up, right? And some of it I might have some more insight on now or whatever. But the big thing is like if you start kind of doing that stuff, it kind of gets you in the habit and it becomes just second nature. So I didn't do it with this video, like because I don't really promote my lives like that. But with anything else, I'll get in there and do all the tagging, and it just what in the past would take me some time and a lot of thought. Now I just like fly right through it, even just like typing out stuff manually. But yeah, like good luck to you though, seriously, because the YouTube thing can be a little bit, I don't know, in the beginning it can be a little rough because it's I don't know how you're starting off, right? But like for me, when I started, I didn't know anybody. I didn't have any friends that were like jumping in and watching my stuff because I didn't tell anybody. I just started doing it. Daniel Bryan here. But so when I did, I just started uploading videos and just kind of hoping people to see them. And somehow they did. How they did is a little bit of a mystery because the tags were so bad. It was just like somebody just having to stumble across them somehow. But yeah, if you got any like actual questions about that stuff, or you want to hear me go a little more in depth onto something, or I can like screen share right now and show you some stuff if you really want to see anything more up to date, because it's the biggest thing the biggest thing you can do really is all that stuff, because you can go and you can tell a bunch of people to watch your stuff, and maybe they will, maybe they won't. But if you are making whatever content and you're tagging it properly and doing all that good stuff to like make people notice it, that's going to do a lot more for you. Because for me, I don't have a super tight following. Like I've got some friends that do this and they do, right? Like they may not have in some cases as many like subscribers or whatever, but if they post a video, there's going to be like a barrage of like a few dozen people in there, like in the comments, watching the videos, all that stuff. I get by on the casual viewer, right? So that's why I kind of have to target my stuff to the casual viewer so that this casual viewer finds it when they search for it. So if you treat it like that and you're able to reach those guys and able to kind of get your stuff out there and have come up with like a couple solid subscribers or followers or friends or buddies or whatever, then you can get the best of both worlds, and that's where you want to be, man. But regardless, though, like whatever type of material you're doing, hopefully it finds the audience that you're trying to find, right? I would say don't think too much about that. Don't stress on the numbers and such, but definitely do what you can to set yourself up to be seen by the other people, right? Because that's more important, in my opinion, and it's going to be more sustainable overall. That's a huge factor in there, you know. So he just knocked this dude's tooth out. Looks like he did. But I don't know. They did this whole thing with somebody before, and you could tell that it was like super fake. Like it wasn't at all. Thank you. It's all pro wrestling. I'm not doing video stuff. Just audio and presentation. Okay, it's audio and present. That's the cool thing about that. To me, it seems like it might be a lot less hassle to create the videos overall, because when you're making like visual content and you're like showing things off and you're talking about Britt Baker and all this, like depending on what kind of quality you're going for, it can become a little much, right? But for something like that, I would imagine it'll probably be a little bit easier to kind of keep up with your own consistency. Because that's the thing. A lot of people say like, "Oh, you got to be consistent in your videos," and that's true. Like, it helps to be, to keep things flowing regularly. But the difference is that some people present that as like, "Oh, you got to put stuff up every day." That's not accurate. I know a lot of people that do just fine doing like, "Oh, well, I'm going to put up a video on Tuesday and on Saturday," right? So you just do that. And then on top of that, like as long as you find it, it might take a little while for you to fine tune how you present everything, but don't always like try to perfect it, you know? Because like for me, every video that I do, there's something that I don't like about it. Little things that I could probably go back and fix in the moment, but I just kind of don't sometimes because it's like if I start obsessing over every minor detail, what's the point? Because the thing is, the majority of the people watching this, they don't notice that. Like, because I've noticed, like, talk to people, like, yeah, I didn't like this. Like, oh, I didn't see that. It's like, they'll be more drawn to whatever, you know? If you put up the wrong picture or something, they might say something about that, sure. But yeah, overall, though, I would say that doing that type of stuff, just like the audio and the presentation, that sounds pretty good, you know? So, what do you, I mean, I know you just said pro wrestling, but what's like one of the videos you've done about? Like, do you cover like specific people, or is it like you talk about like an event in history, or it's like the history of a title itself or something? I mean, I'd say paste your link in here, but the way they are nowadays, you can't do that anymore, which kind of sucks. And I don't. There used to be an option where you could like click on somebody and see their channel that way, but they got rid of that like last year or something. But I feel like I may have seen your name in a past thing. So at some point, tap Mr. Tap Out or Mr. Talk, however you want to be addressed. Go ahead and like comment on any video of mine, any post of mine, so that way I can find your channel later and like go check it out. You know what I'm saying? So that way I can go back and see what you're doing. You know, and if you have any, if you ever want me to offer some sort of direct advice or whatever, if you do something and you're like, oh, what do you think of this? Or you want my insight, input, whatever, because maybe it's valuable to you, just let me know. I usually cover news, rumors, and other series and highlights of broken. Okay, see, that's the kind of thing that sounds pretty awesome. And honestly, it's the kind of stuff that I wish I had started doing instead of the shoe thing, because I'm way more into wrestling than I am into shoes, which is why I have like a million wrestling shirts and posters and figures and, you know, whatever. Like when it comes to the shoes, I like to be comfortable and I like trying out different pairs. You know, I'm really just a casual consumer in that way. But when it comes to like wrestling or music, way above that, way above. But Pete, stop, Petey. I don't want to have to like put you in timeout or whatever. But the thing you're doing, you can stop. So, anyways, yeah, but yeah, just comment on one of my things so I can like find your channel because I can't click on your name here, which is I still don't know why they made that change. It's like a terrible change. But yeah, like when I was when I was thinking about some stuff like a while ago, I was like, man, I really should have done wrestling stuff. And don't get me wrong, like I've considered like because like the more I do it, because like I'm slowing down, plan to slow down like the shoe thing anyway, because after a certain point, how many do you really need? But the wrestling stuff, that's always going to be happening. So there's a solid possibility that over time, this channel might just become not so much shoes and stuff and more so stuff. So I don't know. It's a thing. It's a thing I think about because it's the kind of stuff that's just a little easier to talk about. Like when I have friends over, like when I have friends online with me and we're doing the lives and we're talking about like action figures or whatever, or movies or all that stuff. Those are like some of the most fun things to do because it's a lot more conversational, you know? When I'm sitting here doing a review, I treat it like a one-sided conversation because I'm talking to somebody with my camera about what I see, right? But if I sit here and say like this is why Ruby Soho should have won that match, blah blah blah, or like this is what I think should have gone down. Like, can you imagine if the storyline played out like this? And you can get some insight from people. Whereas with this stuff, the only insight I get is usually like dope or fire picture or can't wait to get mine. It's not a lot of substance behind most of the comments that I get. And I'm not saying that as talking down on anybody. It is what it is, though. Every so often someone comes along and like, oh man, like I appreciate you explaining this because I thought these were going to be more like this. So I guess if it's not going to be waterproof, then maybe I don't want these. So, okay, cool. You took some value from it. Fantastic. I get it, man. Survivor Series, golden eggs, a lot of conversation about that. What was that all about? So I didn't watch Raw, and I was kind of barely watching Survivor Series. Wait, that's Saturday fight? That's even better, actually. The AEW show is going to be on a Saturday, which means the amount of time I need to take off work is next to nothing. So that's cool. But yeah, Survivor Series. It was, again, it could be that I wasn't paying full attention, but it was hard to get into. I gotta say, now that all the lights are going out, like, who's making this entrance? Because Sting has already been out there, so it must be that Malachi Black guy. Yep, there he is. But yeah, and then like Mr. McMahon comes out, and you think like, oh, McMahon is there. This is a big deal. And he does this egg thing, and it's like, what is this? And then I saw something like one of those ads somewhere, because I think it was like on the, you just get normal ads based on your interests. And it was like, watch Raw tonight to find out what happened with the egg. And I'm like, I didn't know anything happened to it, and I don't care what happened to it. I'm not watching this. And I don't know what I did last night, but I know that it wasn't. Oh, yeah, I watched He-Man Revelation Series 2. That's what I did last night, because I knew that was going to be way more entertaining than watching Raw. 3 hours is a long time. Let's see. It was terrible. Basically, Austin Theory stole the egg and cashed it in on Raw for a title shot. Okay. That see, it's stuff like that, right? That's why it's hard to watch these things sometimes, because you're like, okay, so like you didn't need to do anything to make people care who Austin Theory is. Like the smarter fans that like pay attention to stuff, like they know him from the independent scene. Other people know him from NXT. Like all you got to do is just kind of bring him in there, let him kind of like be in the crowd a little bit, in front of the crowd a little bit, and then just kind of over time, like let him get into it with somebody after he's kind of like found his feet under himself. Yeah, he's yeah, he's an NXT guy. I mean, because I believe he had the same name on the independents. Oh man, Mr. Hardwood over there, he was like, some fan was like trying to reach out and like touch his hand, some little kid. He's like, oh come on. And like every time like the little kid got a little closer, he like backed up further. So that was pretty awesome. It's kind of a bad move in some ways, but the kid is gonna remember that more than he would remember if like the dude just touched his hand or something. But yeah, like that's, and it's probably not going to go anywhere. It's probably going to be something they talk about next week and be like, oh, it's Austin Theory, he's the one who did this, and then nothing will matter after that. And next thing you know, he'll just be another guy losing to, I don't know, he'll be like Dolph Ziggler, just another guy whose name should mean more than it does. Like whatever happened to Dolph Ziggler? Is he still around? Because I know he had that thing with Bobby Roode for a while where they were some kind of tag team, like the Dirty Dogs. And then, yeah, both of them, like, they shouldn't be in a tag team, I don't think. Because they're just, to me, just like too good for that, Not say that there's anything wrong with tag team wrestling. That's one of my favorite things, if it's an actual team. But Yeah, Dolph should be a big guy. He should definitely have more luster about him. I mean, I don't know what happened. He had the title at some point, maybe twice, definitely once. And even in Survivor Series, was it some pay-per-view in 2015, Royal Rumble, and I think Survivor Series as well. He was really like the crowd was totally behind him. Let's see, the Dirty Dogs were in the 25 Battle Royals. Like a Battle Royal sponsored by Pizza Hut, just like if you ever wanted to be sure that something didn't matter, that's how you do it. I mean, Pizza Hut was cool. Like I'll always respect them for, when I was younger, back in high school, my Tony Hawk 1 demo disc that came from Pizza Hut. So they'll always have a special place in my heart for that. I don't care as much for their pizza, honestly, compared to like Papa John's or whatever. But that doesn't matter. Having something signed, sponsored by Pizza Hut, that yeah, because then now I remember like Montez Ford throwing all this pizza into the crowd, and then they stopped to have like Otis eat pizza in the middle of the ring for like too much time. Yeah, I did not. Now that I'm starting to remember Survivor Series happenings, I don't. Yeah, I didn't like a lot of it. I'm sure there was something that was good, but I heard the Charlotte Becky match was pretty solid. But I was trying to fix a situation with like the network things around here when that was going on, so I missed a lot of it. And then I just saw Becky won, and I was like, okay, so are they done now? Like, can we go home? Can we move on? Cesaro? What about Cesaro? Like, they aren't pushing people that deserve, my opinion, and I know it is worth nothing. But no, like, there are a lot of people that, I'm not saying all the people that are being pushed don't deserve it, but not all of them deserve the time that they got or are getting. So, and it's hard to really like put any details behind that because I don't watch regularly, right? But some things that I do see, it's like I like seeing Nakamura on TV, right? That's a good thing because he should be featured on TV. But he's featured doing nothing, and then it's like, okay, well that kind of sucks. And now it's like the Death Triangle is coming out. I had forgot that was a thing, but I'm glad they're still doing it though, because like the Death Triangle was like it was one of those groups where you wouldn't think that it needs to be a group, but it actually works pretty well because like it just works. Got the Lucha Brothers. Where are they? Over here. I was opening them earlier. Where's the other one? The Lucha Brothers, right? I'd show you old Neville or old Pac, but he's way over there hanging out with the other Lucha Brothers and Matt Hardy for some reason. So, yeah, I need to get that AEW rank so I can really put these things somewhere. Get that figured out later. Let's see. It was one of the no. It was one big commercial all night long. Yeah, that's the whole thing. Like with remember a couple months ago at some other pay-per-view where it was like the Miz and Morrison, or maybe it's just the Miz versus like Damien Sandow or something, and there was like the zombies. It's like, what was that? Like, I mean, we all know that wrestling has a certain, you know, arrangement to it, right? But you don't have to just like throw it in our faces necessarily. When you're like younger and like they show you like Papa Shango and he's doing like what appears to be magic, it's like, okay, as a kid, like whatever. Nobody's gonna believe that like zombies are really like coming out of the locker room or something. Like, why is that happening? Just if something's gonna be bad, just let it be bad on its own. You don't have to make it worse. So I feel he deserves more. Yeah, like a lot of those guys do. I mean, like the Rick Boogs guy. Like I feel like there's more that he could be doing, but I like what he's doing, so I don't really complain about that. But then, like who was it? Chad Gable and what was that? Jason Jordan. That was one of the best tag teams to come through like the WWE NXT environment. And they were like, no, we're not doing that. They just split them up. And that was stupid. And then they had Chad Gable do a bunch of nonsense things, and now he's just feeding Otis pizza or something, I think. I don't know. I quit watching till AW. I'm born from Memphis. The king is it. Damien Sandow deserved better. I went to Memphis once. Some friends were doing a little mini tour for their band, Let's see, Damien Sandow. So I was never like a huge Sandow guy. Oh wait, no, excuse me. I'm thinking Damian Priest. Sandow, yes. I think Sandow ended up being somebody that mattered when he left there and went to the NWA show because he was on Power for a while, if I recall correctly. And I think he had a belt there. But it's like the thing that he was doing, right? The last thing he was doing was like the Mizdow thing. And he was doing a great job of that. Do I have that figure? I don't think I do. But so he was doing the Mizdow thing for a while, and that was like, I know it was a little ridiculous, but he was doing a great job of it. I saw it live once when I was like living in England, and it was pretty cool to see actually happen. I'm not gonna lie, but it kind of pigeonholed him, right? It kind of like blocked him off into like a little corner, and they could have easily played it out into a way to where, since he was getting bigger cheers, he could have like started to overtake the Miz and all that stuff. And then they could have fought to, just kind of break up. And then in theory, Sandow go do his own thing and still kind of have some appeal about him. But it just didn't really happen that way. You're a Mr. Perfect fan. I just saw a shirt on Dream Match Wrestling. They make wrestling shirts that are just like dream matches. And one of the shirts I saw from them today was Daniel Bryan versus Mr. Perfect, which would have been a pretty good match if you caught them both in like their prime or whatever. Or actually, I don't know that they ever really had like gone past their prime. So yeah, if that was a thing that could be done, like it'd be pretty cool, But a lot of stuff is just going to be dream matches, which will never happen. But it's nice to like sit back and speculate, talk about it, like say, oh well, wouldn't it be cool if Brett and Anvil fought FTR? Like that'd be a crazy match, right? Because it would. I don't know who'd have to be the heel in that. Like Brett and Anvil would have to be the heels though, for sure. But let's see. Sid, yes. I just opened a Sid figure yesterday. I think that's over there. Or Sunday. Sandow was the stunt double thing, and it was hilarious and entertaining. Then he tried to become Hulk Hogan and Macho Man Mega Powers with Curtis Axel. Man, I completely forgot about that thing. Remember? Somebody threw Cody's belt back in the ring. Yeah, you know how he throws it out into the ring to like his fans or something? Apparently, he doesn't have any fans, and they threw it back in the ring. And then Andrade took it and threw it under the ring, and he got a little bit of a cheer. So things like that, those are the backfires. You try to do something nice, man. That's the kind of heat that like you don't get just by trying to get it. Like you got to actually rub the fans the wrong way, and he has done that one way or another. But yeah, what I was gonna say was, remember when like Curtis Axel was doing that thing where he was never eliminated from the Royal Rumble or something, and he was like the longest man in it? That was pretty funny too. I mean, obviously something like that it's got an expiration date on how long you can really like laugh about it, but they don't do anything to really play off of these things. they just accept that it happened. Where did that belt come from? Now Cody's putting the belt back on. That's like the equivalent of the walk of shame right there, because he took it off so he could throw it into the crowd and get a little pop going because he's the good guy. And they threw it back. And now he just has to put the belt back on and be sad that nobody likes him. Man, Cash Wheeler's a very athletic sort of dude as far as like, he doesn't really do the big flippy things like a lot of people, but apparently he can. He just opts not to. Let's see. I watch Jerry Lawler and Bill Dundee every weekend, or actually being there. Yeah, I was just listening to something where Cornette was talking about them. Yeah, like for me, I had I been a fan when I was younger, I probably still wouldn't have seen any wrestling because growing up in Iowa, it was just not really a thing. That I I don't think that there was any shows around there, because even when I listen to people talk about like wrestling in the older time frames, it's like unless we were gonna take like a weekend trip down to St. Louis or something, because it was only like probably like 4-ish hours away, probably. I could have seen a lot of wrestling in St. Louis for sure, and where in Chicago, there probably would have been some decent shows over in Chicago too. But I think if I was to watch what was available in Iowa, I'm sure there would have been a lot of little things, like little independent type things, but because like amateur style wrestling is big out there. But I don't know, it just wasn't a thing that was meant to be, I guess. But in my older years, I've been able to make up for it to some extent. I just went to AEW Dynamite a week ago, went to SmackDown 2 weeks ago, got some WrestleMania tickets. I'll be doing that early next year. So I'm able to like see some stuff. It's just it would have been nice to see some like regular events like right in the city where I live. Let's see. That's a shame. Childhood Saturday mornings. Yeah, my childhood Saturday mornings were Saturday morning cartoons, which, was a thing that a lot of people were doing in the time, because you sit back and you watch like Spuds McKenzie and Garfield and Dennis the Menace. That was a thing. Those are what I remember from like those cartoons, because like He-Man and stuff was on like the weekdays, I believe, because I think I used to watch it when I got home from school. But yeah, Saturday mornings for me was just all cartoons, like a whole block of it. And then I don't know what happened with the rest of the Saturday. Probably just whatever my mom was doing, like, just like, come on, Tristan, we got to go to the store. Like, all right, whatever. X-Men. Did you see that they're gonna bring back? I think it's called like X-Men '97 or something like that, or X-Men '92. I don't know. They're basically gonna make an X-Men cartoon similar to the animated series of the '90s, but it's gonna be today. Like they're gonna start making it again. So if they make it with that same animation and the same solid storylines, that's gonna be pretty awesome. They also have some figures coming out that are based off of the animated series as well. And I've seen the Wolverine and the Jubilee, and I'm very sure, against my better judgment, that I'm going to buy a bunch of those figures. Jesus. That Ray Phoenix guy is crazy. Like, crazy good in the sense, Let's see. G.I. Joe and He-Man. I never liked G.I. Joe. Even still to this day, like I still don't like G.I. Joe. I don't like camouflage. Like I feel like maybe there's something that I can't recall that I was just like wronged on when I was younger, because I don't think anybody else despises G.I. Joe like I do. So I'm not sure where it comes from. Jeez, he is taking these kicks. Let's see, the Lucha Bros are wrestling right now, and that is something. I don't know if you guys are watching Dynamite, but this match here, didn't expect much of it, but it's looking like I feel like if I was there in the crowd, like this would be a pretty entertaining one, you know? It's like what is 4-on-4, 5-on-5, 5, 4? I don't know. Either way, it's a couple dudes versus a couple dudes. That much is true. Give Joe you heard. Well, yeah, I don't know. Like I could never get into it. I would look at it and I was just like, mm-mm. I even had like a couple GI Joe figures. I remember sitting there and like you have them and I just noticed Darby has some very vibrant what do you call it, like nail polish going on down here. You see that? Like this red fingernail polish. I don't know what's going on with that. Either way, I remember sitting there like playing with like the Darby, or playing with like the GI Joe figure, and then like that little band that connects their like bottom half and top half like snaps, and it's like, and then it's just done. Like you can't do anything about that. You just don't have it anymore. And I'm like, this is stupid. Maybe that's where part of it came from, like how fragile those figures were. I don't know. I don't know, but I just was not a fan of GI Joe then. I am not a fan of GI Joe now. Let's see. Kind of like the villains, except He-Man. Are you saying you don't like the He-Man villains? Some of the He-Man villains are pretty good. I mean, like Beastman and Trapjaw are like my guys, though. More so in like, especially like in the later years, because Beastman was cool from the beginning, right? Because he's like a beast man. But later on, like with Trapjaw being like the science guy, and same with Triclops, he's more of like a technology type of guy. I was like, I can relate to this. These are the ones right here, you know. But like the good guys were just, some of them were cool, you know. I like Cyclone because he could spin around. That was pretty cool. Buzz Off was like a bee and he could fly, and like he got points for being able to fly. But a lot of the good guys were just so plain, you know. But you look at the bad guys and you're like, oh man, Spikor and Stinkor and who else? Like the Horde thing, you know, like with Hordak and all those guys, Leech. Like the villains was like the thing, you know. But yeah, and now like I saw they've got, wait, no, that's something else. What's the Cobra Kai thing? Was that? Yeah. They've got those Ninja Turtles versus Cobra Kai 2-packs at Target now. And that is a thing that I don't like. It just looks like it doesn't belong. It's like this dude can't stand up against this turtle, you know? Like it's not even believable. It's Donatello. And he's supposed to just like not be able to take some karate man, you know, like some sort of Ethan Page guy. I'm gonna have to watch the new Netflix series. Hopefully it's good. So I liked it, right? I watched the first season whenever that came out, and yesterday was when they released season 2, and it's relatively short. There's five episodes. It'll probably take, if you watched all 5 episodes back to back, it takes like an hour and a half to get through it. So it's kind of like a short movie, and it's kind of set some stuff up for the future. And I'm kind of curious to see where things go from here, you know? Because the first season, a lot of people complain about the first season of the Netflix He-Man show. A lot of people complained about the first season, from what I heard, because it wasn't what they wanted. But if you watch it with an open mind and know that they're going to build up to something, like then it's a little easier to take in. Because me, I was like, okay, they're telling like they're not telling a different story. They're just telling a different part of the story. And seeing what that turns into is the cool thing, you know? So I was cool with it, and I was looking forward to season 2, and I watched season 2, and I was not let down at all. You know, they put in a lot of cameos by a lot of people, which is often a good thing, you know, for nostalgia. And they left enough of it open so you can see like, oh, so you guys might do this with season 3? Well, now I'm looking forward to that. So, but I think there are 2 He-Man shows. So the one we're talking about is Revelation, right? There's another He-Man show that looks very childish and stupid. But this one just looks like, you know, normal animation, I guess. I don't know how else to put it. Ooh, man, that knee. I saw it coming. Ray Phoenix didn't see it coming. But whew, I'm sure he wishes he did. Let's see. I hear you. I was born in the 80s. I was born in 82. The new isn't my thing. I try to think the childish is better. Yeah, I don't know. Like I could I didn't watch the childish one just because of the way it looked. I know you're not supposed to like judge a book by its cover, and I totally get that. But for me, just me being me, I'm going to. I'm going to. Man, there's a lot of stuff happening in this match here. It's very entertaining. And now Tully's in the ring and Arn's getting in the ring. So we might see one old man versus another old man. It's like that episode of Family Guy where like the weird old guy that's always coming on to Chris was like fighting that Nazi old guy. I just imagine it being like in super slow motion, you know? And now, who is that guy? Now there's three of them and they're ganging up on Arn Anderson. Oh, but yeah, I don't know, man. Like I'll have to look at this childish one again, whatever it's actually called, because I don't remember. But I saw it and I was just like, what am I watching this on? Is this streaming right now? I haven't. I don't know. I remember like my Fire Stick was being all weird with the VPN thing or something. So I'm not sure how I'm watching this right now, but looking. Well, actually, if I open that, I might stop this. But yeah, I'm gonna have to look up and see what that one is called because I honestly just don't remember. Let's see, Netflix He-Man. Because there was. Is it that one? No, that's not it. Yeah, I'm gonna have to look up the childish one because I've seen the figures at Walmart, but I can't find the show on Netflix. So I'm not sure. I'm just trying to search for it. Wait, that's it. It's called He-Man and the Masters of the Universe. So that is the one that I'm thinking of. The other one is just called Revelations. So to be clear, I like the Revelation one. This He-Man and the Masters of the Universe. I don't like the way it looks, and that is why I didn't watch it. But if you guys are going to vouch for it, I'll consider it. I'm not saying I will watch it, but I will think about it. Okay, cool. And now AEW is over. Well, yeah, because I'm watching this on Fight TV because that's just how I am. Wait. Let's see. So that's what's his belt then? I don't know. I'm losing stuff over here. It's all kinds of shoes and wrestling figure boxes around. So somewhere around here is in the AEW tag team title, and I have no idea where it is now. So I'll deal with that at some point. And there's I guess one of these guys in every wave comes with a title. Now that I'm thinking about it, because there's the TNT one. Hikaru had Sheeta had the women's title. Here's one of the tag belts. Darby had the TNT one, wherever that is. Is this it? This one. Jericho had the AEW title. Eventually, they've got to make a Kenny Omega with the tag title. Well, no, they did. I have that one on the way. But anyway, so AEW is over, and I've got a mess of things going on over here that I kind of need to tend to. So I'm going to start wrapping this thing up. It was good talking to you guys. I definitely appreciate you hanging out, talking wrestling and cartoons and stuff. Because, when I set up these lives, I usually have some kind of plan, something to talk about specifically, but I do like to just kind of sit back and see where the conversation goes because that's cool. But yeah, tap out. Yeah, I'm about to end this anyway, so definitely appreciate you stopping in. And like I said, comment on something, anything like a post, like a community post or a video, so that I can find your channel. But for now, from me to you, speaking to everybody. Have a nice rest of your day or rest of your night, whatever it is, wherever you are. Again, I had a good time doing this. I don't do it as often as I should, so I need to work on that as a person. But I'll get there. I'll get there. For now, again, seriously though, thanks for everybody that came in and stopped in and hung out. I do appreciate it. I'll catch up with you guys some other time. So later, people.